Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Transformers video review, and this time I'll be taking a look at the Predacons from Robots in Disguise. So the first three Predacons being the basic class ones that were released together in the Hasbro version as a 3-pack, and we'll be taking a look at them individually, and starting here with Gas Skunk. So here is Gas Skunk in his skunk mode. Now he is a repaint of the Maximal Stink Bomb from the Transmetal 2 line. And yeah, that's basically it. It's a techno-organic skunk. A lot of really nice detail molded in. We've got really nice fur detail going on the whole body of it, as well as some technological inner workings coming out of the fur, which it's kind of not showing up very well because the paint's chipping really bad, but I do like the silver streak going in for the stripe for the skunk. Some really menacing looking face. Some silver painted teeth, and then the tail being chrome with some black and chrome orange paint in there. And now for an action feature, he does have a claw that can fold out on the tail, but the posability doesn't really allow it to do much of anything. In terms of articulation, it's a Beast Wars figure. Big thing with the articulation is that it is kind of limited in some spots just due to how it has to be positioned for beast mode. And then in terms of also just overall age, how tight or loose some of the joints can be. Now I did try to tighten some of the joints with floor polish, and that seems to work for a little bit, but it's also gotten some of the joints a little bit too stiff. But we'll go ahead and look at the articulation on the front legs. We do have ball joints in every single joint. So we have a joint here, and then a joint here, and then a joint in the paw. And then in the back, we do have one in the hip, as well as a hinge here in the back leg. So, pretty decent articulation in the body. The tail is also on a ball joint and a hinge, so you can get a decent amount of articulation out of it. Nothing too special going on. Now, this was originally a basic class figure when it came out. I forgot to turn my phone down. When this came out as Stink Bomb in Beast Wars a few years back, and it actually does scale pretty well with the deluxe Autobot cars. I do think that with we'll just bring Prowl in here for a good comparison, but if you see they're about the same size, and they would have been packaged in alternate mode, as it was just the way it was at the time. So they do take up pretty much about the same space, but honestly think that out of good conscience, just due to the fact that in Japan these were released in basic price point, as well as just not even a couple years prior to Robots in Disguise coming out, this was released as a basic class figure and Stink Bomb, so I think people would have felt a little bit cheated if they had to spend a little bit more money to get basically the same figure. And for a modern day figure size comparison, I don't know what happened to my Ironhide that I had sitting off to the side here in vehicle mode, but go ahead and show him off next to oh, there's Ironhide. So here's Ironhide, modern day deluxe in vehicle mode. So again, about the same size, more or less. And then also here is Siege Optimus in robot mode, just to get a good comparison of how Skunk compares next to a more modern day figure. So now on to the transformation. What we're going to do to start off is we're going to take the skunk head and we're going to pull that down all the way, and then take this section and untab it and flip it around. Take the legs, fold them down, and then rotate the waist around, and then rotate the feet around, and then take the section that the head is on and we're going to flip that up, and then that will allow us to bring the skunk head into the body, and then we can just collapse that back down on top of it, and then take these chrome pieces and fold them all the way around like so, and then get the back legs, fold it down, fold the paw up so it's up against the front of the shoulder, and then come back around the back of it, and then take the arm and then rotate it around on the ball joint, and then do the same on the other end, and then just do whatever you want with the tail to get it out of the way. Anyways, there we have Skunk in his robot mode. And go ahead and real quick take a look at that head sculpt. There we go. Really nice head sculpt, and this was one of the ones that kind of just makes me think that it shouldn't be a Maximal to begin with, and it should have just kind of been a Predacon to the start. So that I actually feel makes this a really good choice in terms of a repaint. The head sculpt just kind of looks really menacing with the bright red faceplate painted on, the bright blue eyes, and that silver mouth just kind of grinning in there. And then we also do have some new detail in the chest. All of this is supposed to be painted yellow, but it's chipping away. But then we also have some metallic green and some orange painted in there, and some silver painted on the bottoms of the paws to give out a little bit more detail, some technical detail. But other than that, nothing really new that we haven't seen in beast mode. We do have these little pieces that do flip up. This one on this side doesn't really do anything except for, I guess it's just for the figure's symmetry. But this does flip up and it reveals some technical inner workings. On the other side, and this was actually his primary attack in the series, is that this piece would actually open up, and that would reveal the Predacon Spark Crystal. You can see that in there. Here, let's see if that helps getting it in some light like that. Yeah, that's the best it's going to do, but yeah, so the Predacon Spark Crystal's in there, so he would have the left laser attack was what it was called. He would shoot a laser out of his left shoulder through the Spark Crystal. And don't worry, I will do comparisons of all three of the Predacons in Beast mode and in Robot mode, just like I did with the Car Brothers. Just waiting until I get all three of them reviewed before I do that. But anyways, for size comparison now, here I have him next to Prowl. Whoop. both of them falling over now. I also got to get that door piece to want to stay on. So there he is next to Prowl. As you can see, Prowl's a little bit bigger, and this is where the basic size class comes into play. It's a simpler transformation and it's a smaller robot mode, so it does kind of make up for being a bit of a cheaper figure. But again, the basic class doesn't really mean anything if you get the Hasbro version. It's because all three of them were packaged together in a mega class sized package, so you would get it for about $20. So and then to compare him next to a modern day figure, we'll go ahead and bring out the Siege Prowl. And as you can see, again, both Prowls are about the same size, so kind of comparing them is a little bit the same. Basically, Skunk's going to be a bit smaller than him. And then go ahead and bring out the Siege Optimus again. And you see how much more taller Optimus is compared to Skunk. And again, giving a more modern figure, a figure that pretty much everybody in their collection should have at this point, or at least a version of, is the Siege Optimus mold, which could also be the Earthrise Optimus mold due to just some extensive retooling, basically. But it's essentially the same figure, just Cybertron versus Earth modes. But anyways, about the same, about up to his waist, Skunk is compared to Optimus. So, yeah. And then just for fun, we'll go ahead and bring out the leader and put him back up here, just so we could show off how big he would be compared to one of his lackeys. So we got Megatron standing here. Well, it does look kind of good, just as them. But anyways, final thoughts on Skunk. He's a pretty fun figure. Not really too much to go over with him. He is a basic class Beast Wars figure. Base Transmetals 2 figure, at least. So it's a little it doesn't have a lot going for him, but what he does have going for him is pretty decent. This might end up sounding like a broken record after all three of them if you watch all three of them in a row, but I wouldn't necessarily search out Skunk on his own unless you're getting the Japanese versions, because again, the Japanese ones were released individually, but the Hasbro American ones were released together in a 3-pack. So unless you can't find unless you're looking to complete your collection and you can't find the Predacons bundled together, I would that's the only reason why I would say to get any one of the three individually. They're just basically they're good figures or fun figures, but they don't really do a lot. And I feel like your best bang for your buck would be picking up all three at once, because then you have the shelf presence of a full team, and that's about it. Not much else I could say about this figure, so I'll go ahead and leave it at that. This has been Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.